Oh no, look at this airplane! It's a mere metal tube 30,000 feet above the ground going 400 miles an hour.
This is fine.
Greetings! If you're observing this video at this point in your existence, chances are, like millions of other people, you're terrified of airplanes. Okay, I get it. It's natural to be scared of the idea of putting yourself in a cylinder that is hurtling through the sky at altitudes your brain can hardly comprehend. But here's the truth. It's not good to be afraid of flying. In fact, at some inevitable point in the future, you will have to fly somewhere. You'll have to go somewhere that's just not possible to visit by car. Maybe you'll go to Hawaii with your friends, or fly to Europe for a work trip. Or go somewhere in Alaska that's landlocked by mountains with no roads and only bush plains. Unless you're a beetle living underneath a rock, shout out to my beetles watching, you'll have to fly somewhere at some point. You can't hide forever, and I'm going to show you how you can fly with confidence. By the end of this video, you'll be able to fly without even feeling the slightest tingle of nervousness, I promise. I'm going to walk you through the whole flying experience, and I'll cover every part of it. So, no matter what part of flying scares you, you'll be enlightened at the end of this video. But make sure to stick around until the end like a true homie, because that's when I'll tell you the most useful tip I know. Ready? Okay, enough yapping, let's get started. Now the first thing I want to tell you is, the worst thing you can do if you're scared of flying is to add on to your anxiety. By this I mean dealing with the long lines of security and worrying if you'll miss your flight. This is a horrible state of mind to have if you're already scared of flying. So, the best thing you can do to avoid this is to get to the airport early. I'm talking get to the airport 3 or 4 hours before your flight departs. No, I'm not insane. You never know how busy the airport will be, how long the security lines will last, or how far away your gate is. And you really don't want to be like this guy. The more time you have before your flight boards, the better. If it turns out the lines are non-existent, that just means, hey, you have an hour to go plane spotting and observe the planes taking off. Or maybe even grab a snack from the restaurants in your glorious terminal. Okay, yay you. You're chilling now and waiting for your flight to board. But oh no, the journey isn't over yet, because now you've boarded your sky chariot and have to deal with the most terrifying part yet, the flying. As you look out the window, you see airplane after airplane, claustrophobic cage after claustrophobic cage. Dude, snap out of it. You're kind of overthinking it. What you're gonna do now is ask yourself, what part of the flying is scaring you? Are you afraid the planes will crash? Or that your plane will follow the sky? Or is it something else? If you're scared of crashing and getting hurt, listen to this. I'm going into full nerd mode. Is it safer to travel to the US by plane than by car? Yes, according to the Department of Transportation data. In 2023, 33 plane passengers were injured over 773 billion miles of air travel. Put another way, you could circle the globe over 940,000 times for every one airplane injury. Yeah, you could fly around the world almost 1 million times before you'd have a chance of getting hurt. Literally thousands of airplanes fly every day. But since news companies know flying is inherently scary for some people, they make a huge deal when something happens and make it seem like every plane does this, because they know it'll get your attention and click on it. The reality is, these crashes are very rare. You don't hear about car crashes in the news, do you? That's because everyone knows that cars crash much more frequently than airplanes. You are over 100 times more likely to get injured driving to the airport than when actually on your plane. Now, if you're thinking, oh, it's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna be the 1 in the billion and fall out of the sky, then you need to understand how airplanes work. The engines push the plane forward, which makes air run over the wings, which are shaped in such a way that lift is generated underneath them, pushing the plane up. Once a plane takes off, as long as it has thrust, it'll keep going forward. You're now thinking, no, what if the engines die? Well, don't worry, because contrary to what seems to be popular belief, when an engine dies, the plane doesn't just fall out of the sky. It's still going forward, and it'll keep going forward as long as the nose is pitching down slightly and creating thrust that way. If that makes no sense, then think of a glider. The whole point is that it can fly without an engine. It gets towed up and then it glides back down. A commercial airliner is a glorified glider. And engine failures are actually really rare too, because every time before a plane takes off, the pilots do a walk around the airplane and make sure that everything looks just perfect before they fly. While you let all this information digest in your mind, here's my last tip. Pay careful attention to this one, and out of the entire video, if there's one thing you should remember, it should be this. Phobias work by making you try to avoid the trigger of the fear, but the thing is, every time you avoid the fear, the pathways in your brain against the trigger strengthen every time you avoid it. So, every time you avoid flying, you become more scared of it. So my biggest tip is just to suck it up and fly. Don't avoid it, take deep breaths, and face your fear if you really want to conquer it. This applies to a lot of things in life, actually. After all, bravery isn't not being scared. Bravery means being scared and doing it anyway.